Hi, welcome to Rider's Mind Burning Question of the Week. This week it's a little bit different. I've had a couple of communications recently that have been asking about connection and what their horse is trying to tell them and what they can do within themselves to be ripe for connection. How do we make that fertile ground to be able to have that deep bond and that deep relationship that we're really seeking? So it was a wonderful question, and the horse's point of view is no great surprise. I've heard it a couple of times, or actually I've heard it a few times now, but it's still something that really is a great reminder for us to come back to, and not to look at things that are a strategy that's flawed before it even starts, because often we are looking to create connection based on a few beliefs and assumptions that really don't serve us. And one thing that the horses keep coming back to is, I can't connect with your mind. I can only connect with your body sense, your presence. And the one horse that I was speaking to about this showed their physical form and then this radiating energy coming out from the physical form, where that is the space of connection, is that energetic space in between the two of you. So if this was the human, then there would be a radiating field around the human, and then the horse, there's a radiating field around the horse. And that's where connection starts. And the energy component of it is really important, because we can't be in that place and have that connection and know what messages are being shared in a sort of conversational way unless we're really in our bodies. And I know that sounds strange to say in your bodies, and if you haven't done any personal development, spiritual type stuff, it's just a bit of a weird phrase. But when we're in our bodies, we have the ability to use all of our senses, our five senses, but also our kind of intuition, our ability to pick up messages at a gut level and a heart level that we don't have any really strong logical basis for. And this is the level at which the horses are working. Yes, they have body language, and yes, they have posture, and they're moving and so forth. But that really light, energetic connection is where they spend most of their communicating. And for us to be able to pick that stuff up before it gets to the stage where our horse whips around and goes to bite our arm, we can't really get that delivery of information unless we're really, really deeply in our body, which means it's kind of like what we're not rather than what we are is an easier way to explain it. Quite often we are so distracted by what's going on in our head that we don't have a lot of access to our body as a pickup device and as information delivery. Because our head is the thing that wraps words around stuff, we are very distracted by words, and we're very distracted by visual stimuli and visual cue. And sometimes it's that level of mind busyness really is overwhelming. And I know personally I have that a lot, and I need to remind myself to come back that there's so much more information in the world than what I'm going to pick up with my eyes or the thoughts that I'm thinking. Because when we have that quiet mind space, we really are opening up a whole level of subtlety that we don't have access to. So the horses were showing that that is the level that they want that connection. They don't they don't feel it's enough just to be physically in the same space unless we're completely energetically and emotionally in the same space. To them, we're not really there. So it's a pretty big ask, and I think we can recognize it when we see it. We can recognize it when we see other people embodying this, and we can recognize it when we have these glimpses of almost acting without thinking. We haven't had to weigh up options and look at different ways of doing things. We just feel almost as if our actions are guided. And I know that sounds a bit woo-woo and a bit like, wow, who's pulling the strings on the puppet? But it's not like that. It's an internal guidance as opposed to an external guidance. Because we can spend so much time thinking about what other people have told us to do And that's very much living from an outside in as opposed to an inside out, because we are looking for what's good, for what's right, what's correct, how do we do this well, and so forth. And it's very much looking for an external stamp of approval rather than listening inside of ourselves and allowing our horse and our inner knowing to guide our actions. So yeah, a bit of a different one this week, and I really invite you, when you find yourself in that space of mind busyness, realize that that is not setting us in the conditions for the connection that we really want to have with our horses. That's keeping us away from it. That's actually a block. So prioritize just pausing, closing your eyes for even half a second to bring your attention back inside yourself, taking a few deep breaths and observing and I call it the sensational world, because we have so many sensations going on inside our body, but when our head is so busy, we don't even notice them. And these sensations are communication, they're messages. So much information is flowing into us, and when our head is so busy, we really aren't available to pick up on that information. So I wish you the very best with your horse, and connecting and really embodying a state of being that enables that connection to be all that you want it to be. Because hey, your horse wants it to be like that too. Thanks very much. Bye.